Play Alberta. Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. And for a limited time only, our listeners can score a $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using code GYB50. That's how Alberta wins.
Well, that right there is how you start a 5-game road trip. Oilers with an excellent performance on the road on a big stage. Real solid win. The top 6 came to play in a big way. A lot of the players did. A convincing win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Gonna have a great show breaking it down tonight. We got Struddy, we got Zuby, we got Brownie coming up a little bit later on. And we're going to talk about lots tonight, including a recap of the Got Your Back Christmas party last night. A couple of quick highlights. Just going to tease this. We'll deal with it a little later on in the show. Zuby, fade the music out. All you need to know, folks, is that this happened. Oh, yes. Karaoke was out in full effect. We had some unreal duets. And Christoph, the crazy Russian, made an appearance. We got some stories from the Got Your Back Christmas party. Going to be a great show. Looking forward to it. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, our show's presented by Timber Hoss, our title sponsor, the leader in custom and infill development with the knowledge and experience to bring your dream to life. If you're tired of cookie cutter, copy and paste designs with no soul, see the team at Timber Hoss. Discover how naturally inspired living can make your life better. Take all the guesswork out of your infill project and work with experienced leaders. Visit timberhoss.ca. I am coming at you from the beautiful Timber Hoss studio out here at Rev Media World headquarters in Sherwood Park, a truly customized building experience. All right, gents. Everybody moving a little sluggish today. I was moving a little sluggish. Thought it was a good team building exercise last night. A little surprise. Zuby hops off a plane in time for the Got Your Back Christmas party. Struds, how you feeling, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. I had a pretty full day, but when I walked in and saw Zuby sitting in that chair, at first it didn't really register. I'm like, who is that? Because I remember I said, we'll call you or something. I was trying to be funny the other night. And I was like, who is that guy? Then all of a sudden it registered and that beautiful Christmas sweater I had on. So yeah, it was a lot of fun last night. Really, I learned a lot about a few things about some of our coworkers. Some I didn't want to know, and some I'm glad I do know. So yeah, pretty awesome night.
Well, it's for me, I think one of the big highlights was really getting to meet the wives and Holly. And
Right.
well, I already know Randine pretty well, but Holly and Shona I only really know from the show here. So getting to meet them, that was really fun. And I didn't realize that you could put Shona in your pocket. I didn't know that, especially next to Struddy. Oh my goodness. But
Carney hands.
yeah, yeah. No, that was a big highlight for me, and just the offer being extended and being able to come be a part of it this year was awesome.
Oh, yeah. It was a blast. Unfortunately, Steve Taylor couldn't make it. We wanted so badly to have him there. But we did have him on a FaceTime call in the middle of the night as well. Oh, yeah. So listen, that's all we're going to do on the party for now. We're actually going to take our Take a Lap segment, and we're going to recap some things we think that our loyal listeners will want to know. What exactly went down at the Rishaug house last night? We'll each pick our top 3 moments, and there was a bunch to choose from. But for now, shall we talk about a new goaltender, a new defenseman, and a convincing Oiler win? Let's get to our breakdown, brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Hockey lives at the Canadian Brew House during every Oiler game day at any Edmonton and area location. Enter to win Oiler home game tickets at Rogers Place, plus enjoy a buck-off Molson Canadian and Coors Light tankards, 30-plus beers on tap, 50-plus TVs at all locations. And a reminder that Struds and I will be live on location tomorrow night from the Lewis Estates Canadian Brew House. Oilers and Montreal Canadiens at 5 o'clock. We will do our live podcast after that game comes to a close. So if you happen to be out there watching some NFL, watching a little hockey, stop by and say hello. And looking forward to getting in restaurant at the Canadian Brew House tomorrow night. All right. Oilers waltz into Toronto. A pretty dominant performance here, Strud. 6-3 was the final. That made it look good, that last goal they got at the end there. We'll get to Tristan Jarry in a couple of minutes. But maybe just give me a thought, Struds, on starting the road trip off like that, but Connor McDavid and company, the big guns, just really leaving no doubt. They really put a stamp on this one.
It was all Connor McDavid. I thought this was the best game Connor McDavid's played all year. He was flying all over the ice. He was everywhere tonight. And it started off that first goal. Evan Bouchard, a great play, holding the blue line, as he usually does, calms it, puck down, finds Connor McDavid, and Connor just skated through everyone at full speed, skated by Riley and Ekman Larson. And I was like, okay, this is on. And the rest of the night, I couldn't take my eyes off him. He was ripping around the ice. His legs were moving like I haven't seen him all year. Now, we can go into Edge and we can, that'll be, we can verify there and fact check what I think. But he was moving exceptionally faster than everyone else on the ice tonight. This was all about Connor McDavid tonight in Toronto.
Yeah, and what a stage for him to do that on. Kind of mixed results at times when he goes there. If you watched his media availability earlier today, like he was pretty chill. He answered the questions, but just kind of, you can tell he just wants to get it over with. His pregame interview with Kyle on the broadcast, like he clearly just wants to get that over with. He's very dialed in and focused. It's just a lot of focus on him, which we all know that he doesn't necessarily love. But then he comes out and just creates multiple signature moments, multiple great moments. That 1-0 goal was really something, Struds. Just incredible speed. What was Morgan Riley doing? Like, why did Morgan Riley skate in the wrong direction?
Yeah, I'm guessing here. I believe he thought that maybe Albert Ekman Larson was able to push Connor more to his left. Connor's left and Riley's right, and he's unable to do that. But unfortunately for Riley, now that's 2 times where he's been victimized, I think. And that last time was in Toronto, and that'll be on ads, NHL.com ads.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it wasn't even close who the best player on the ice was today. Austin Matthews, no. Leon was good. Don't get me wrong, but Connor was head and shoulders above everyone else. He jumped off the page for me tonight.
Mars Boy 93 says Riley didn't want to be in another 97 highlight.
No,
he was trying to get out of the frame. Just skate out of the frame. Hopefully you're not in the highlight by the end of the night. That was McDavid getting things started. Leafs end up with back-to-back goals. Not great looks for the Oilers on a couple of them there, but they bounce back hard. They come back hard in the second period. An unfortunate one for Troy Stecher. I didn't like seeing that. I felt bad for him. I mean, this night meant something to him, and to snap one into your own net like that, oh, man, I don't like that for Stecher.
He buried it. He absolutely buried it. And I'll tell you what, that first game against your old team is hard. And I thought he was actually playing, doing pretty well. He was out there giving it everything he could. But he absolutely buries one in the back. I love his reaction. Goes over, hugs the team, hugs the goalie. On the bench says, hey, that's on me. That's on me. Like, what are you going to say as a coach? It's not like he's trying to do that. He's trying to work hard. But, it felt like it just changed the energy a little bit in that building.
Okay, we won't wait any longer. Rich Does YT says, I need to know what Struds thinks of Stastney and Emberson. Let's talk about the new guys. Zuby, you can hop in here on the discussion on Jarry being our resident goaltending expert. Just solid, Struds. Like, I thought he looked good. Made the saves he was supposed to make. Couple of rebounds that maybe, aren't ideal, but that happens. But he got the job done and looked steady in a difficult situation. What do you think?
That first game is huge. You want to get your first save, your first goal against, believe it or not, and you want to get your first win, I think, if you're a netminder. You want to have all those things happen the first night. They all did. He wasn't the story in this game at all. He did play. I thought he played well. He wasn't amazing. He wasn't brilliant. He played well. And he looks very organized and compact in that net and controlled. So I thought he had a good game tonight, but I think the teams did him a favor that he didn't have to be the story tonight, because playing in Toronto, if he comes in and plays badly, that is a national story. And now, to me, he's a footnote, and I think that's okay if you're Tristan Jarry tonight.
Great point. Zuby?
Yeah, I liked his game. I didn't like that's not a good rebound on that first goal, but I liked that you like to, early in a game, you like to get a couple kicks in. Like, you don't want to just get hit in the chest too. You want to get some kicks in. You want to get one in your gloves. I thought he had a couple of kicks early, and I liked he's just, he's a more, I wouldn't dare to say if he's more athletic, but he's a more athletic stance. He kind of stands a little bit higher, and it just feels like he's on his toes a little bit more. And I liked it. I haven't seen much of him before tonight, not in any detail, but I liked what I saw.
123 Arthur saying Jarry's stick was far more involved than Skinner's ever was. Definitely noticed that. A pretty active stick, poking around at pucks after saves. You know, it was often kind of waving around and stuff. Zuby, did you notice that too?
I noticed that he went to the kind of paddle down more than Stu ever did. He went to that paddle down, and when you're paddle down, you have a lot of strength on your stick in that position. So it's easy to flick it and poke a little bit and stuff like that. So I did notice that a little bit more. I don't know if that is exactly what he's referring to, but yeah, I saw that for sure.
Okay, let's get to Tristan Jarry postgame in the Weiss Johnson soundbox. We'll talk about Stastney in a minute here. Remember, Weiss Johnson, should you need a new furnace, heat pump, hot water tank, or garage heater, Weiss Johnson's offering 24 months, no interest, equal payments, OAC, to make your purchase easier heading into the Christmas season. Their family helping your family for nearly 50 years. Visit WJJingle.com for exclusive specials. Just forgot your back, jingle lovers. Jingle.
Weiss Johnson, whoa. We're proud to be local and family owned.
New Oilers starting netminder Tristan Jarry.
Yeah, I think as the game goes on, it's a lot of the same game, just a different place with a different uniform. And I think that's the biggest thing, was just trying to settle in as quick as possible and play my game and just kind of be sound for them. And I thought that they obviously did a great job possessing the puck, back checking, holding on to the puck, and I think that led to a lot of opportunities for us tonight.
Nice to be, when you hit the pillow tonight, it'll probably be nice to get this 48 hours past and start a normal life again.
Yeah, I think obviously there'll be some adjustment time, but it'll be nice to lay down tonight and just kind of reflect.
Darnell Nurse.
He's awesome. It's not an easy spot for him to come in and join the group and have to play a big game the next day. And he came in and he's fit in seamlessly and just speaks to the character and the guy he is. And I think he's going to have a lot of fun with our group.
Had the right color of pads too.
Yeah. Someone's doing some work back there. So.
And Zach Hyman on the new guys.
Great way to start a road trip. Great way to keep momentum going for our group. Great way to get new guys involved. I thought Jars was extremely solid. Just made tons of big saves, especially early on. I turned one over. It's one where you're like, please make a save. You don't want to be turning it over and then getting scored on. So bailed me out, bailed a bunch of guys out early. Huge breakaway save on JT, and then I thought Stats was just poised back there, really good. So you guys playing well right from the start and impacting the game, which is great.
Okay, Struds, first eyes on Stastney as an Oiler. What'd you see?
Yeah. First off, just I think even with these guys for 5 games, it's a great thing because there's going to be a lot of firsts, right? Your first game, you get to hang out with the guys a lot. Hopefully for Jarry, you can come home with a couple wins in his pocket and the momentum's easier and you're like feeling good about yourself and comfortable prior to your first game at home. So I think that's really important. Stastney, boy, he skates well. He is really good at skating. He's pretty good at denying at the blue line, and puck retrievals are good. I would say I'd like to see him move the puck a little quicker, but he is a relatively inexperienced D-man. It's his first game on Saturday night with the Oilers against the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm not sure you could have picked a more tough spot, but he really skates well. Like there was a couple times that he tracked down players or got to pucks first, and I didn't think he'd be able to. So really good first impression for me playing alongside Emerson.
Yeah, I thought he looked pretty good. His stats line, he was -1, played 16 minutes and 22 seconds, had 4 shots on net, which is, that's nice to push that kind of getting pucks on net from a third pairing defenseman. Was ticketed with 3 giveaways, although that stat can be a little dicey in the way it's kept. I did think Struds, there were some nerves early on. There were a couple of times where he had the puck on his stick in his own end and sort of forced it up the wall, and there wasn't really anybody there for it. It was just kind of a clear turnover up the wall. And I feel like that's, I'm not going to make any judgments and, say he's this, that, or anything else. And obviously there's going to be some nerves in game number 1, but it'll be a work in progress. Can we agree on something on this show here, Struds?
Go on.
Because with every Jarry good performance, Jarry bad performance for the next however long we decide, with every good Stastney game, bad Stastney game, Oilers law, people are going to want to have a verdict on this trade, right? People are going to want to say this is what it now is. We're not entertaining that conversation on this show. The trade is done. We're now going to evaluate and talk about what these players do game to game. But we're going to allow a body of work to be put in place, Struds, before we think we're going to be able to have any sort of verdict on this trade. Can we agree to that level of patience on the show? And I won't ask for it from everyone else because everybody wants to feel they know what it is. But we're not going to do that. We're going to give it some time.
100%. I mean, you have to look at it from in the case of the player, the D-man, he needs to develop into a serviceable NHL player. They need that, right? And so that, I can't tell you that after 1 week. And we're probably talking a season and a half here before I can say, yeah, the guy is a player or not. And as far as Jarry, we're probably going to have to talk playoff runs. That's kind of where we're at. Now, he doesn't have a big body of work there, but I think that's what we're looking at. So I have no rush to evaluate this trade because I already know what's going to happen for Pittsburgh, right? You already kind of know the outcome for them. So, are both players on that team next year? I think it's unlikely even one of them is on that team, quite frankly, Schauger.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. And, which way it goes with Skinner and them, like I think it's as much about the performance of Jarry and the performance of Stastney as it is what Skinner does in a different situation. Like whatever Skinner's about to do in Pittsburgh or wherever he goes, that might not be what he was about to do here. I mean, maybe it was, I'm not sure. But I think we just got to look at Jarry, look at Stastney, see the way he, gets worked in. I think it's about this year, though. I'm not going to grade this trade on quite that long a timeline because they're in a win now window and they need to do things to help themselves win now. And I think that the one thing for me that has changed since 2 days ago, Struds, is if you'd asked me a couple of days ago, what do you think the most likely scenario is for the Oilers at the trade deadline? I still would have leaned towards a top 6 forward. I still would have leaned towards a forward. After doing a little digging around and trying to get a sense for things, they may be open to an upgrade on the blue line come trade deadline time if they need to. And if they end up needing to, and that means they can't upgrade up front, then to me, that's going to be a pretty significant one for me. If they have to, because I don't think they were going to add on the blue line before. They might have to now, and that might affect what they can do up front.
And that'll hamstring their run to the finals. That was always, I said it right from day one. If they need to change the goalie, it'll affect everything. There's a domino effect. And if that isn't the case, then it's a problem. And I'll challenge you a little bit. Like I can't evaluate this trade after 1 year because I don't know what Stastney is going to be. Right? If he turns into a serviceable top 5, top 4 defenseman, that's a pretty good trade for a third rounder. And especially when Kulak is at the age he's at, not that he's 100, but you got to start bringing young players. So I'll reserve my judgment for longer than yours. I'm probably a year and a half.
But don't you think though, Struds, that part of evaluating Stan Bowman's trade isn't just what all the players turn into. It's how it affects the window that they're in right now, how it affects this season. I mean, his responsibility, yes, it's to the future a little bit, so we can keep an eye on that. But he made the decision to go with a younger, less experienced player. And if as a result of that, it changes this team's look and feel, I think that needs to be a big part of the judgment on this year's trade. I think we do judge by play. And by all means, you do when you want.
Yeah.
But I do believe the judgment comes this season.
Yeah, and I just can't get it to go down that road. I think they're compromised a bit for this year because they're in developing. They need to develop these players. If they're truly going to hang around, they wouldn't have traded Kulak. The problem is you want to get a new goal, you have to move salary out. So his hands were tied. There's nothing he could do. So
he could have done nothing. He could have done nothing. That's what he could have done. Stuck with Skinner, stuck with Kulak.
Fair point. but I think there was more of an appetite for change in this city than for Oilers fans than not a change. So you ask for change, and there's a price to that. The price is now you lost a top 5 defenseman. So, I just think that Stan Bowman came here with a clear agenda to make this team younger, and he's doing that. And it might, I'm not saying it's costing this year, but they're not as good on the back end as they were yesterday with Brett Kulak. So I can't judge this trade till I know. I mean, this could be building for 2-3 years. I know they're going to win now, but that's the reality.
All right, fair enough. Let's get to our Relentless Player of the Night, brought to you by UCAN Youth Services, an Edmonton charity relentless in creating possibilities for local youth. Mental health drives growth and success, the key to thriving, not just surviving. With 2 in-house counselors offering free therapy, their youth have the support they need to navigate struggles and rediscover their strength. Visit ucan.ca to donate today. Who gets the nod tonight, big guy?
Oh, 97. Honestly, I can't say enough good things about this guy. He was flying tonight. He was all over the ice. He was by far the fastest player on the ice. 3 points, and I don't give it to him often enough. But tonight, I would fire myself if I didn't give him tonight. He was on fire tonight. He was best game of the year for him.
I'm the only one with the power to fire you around here, Struds. You remember that?
Or Randine.
I'm the only one.
Randine does it.
Randine is the true power behind Got Your Back for sure. Did Podkolzin get any thought from you? I mean, 2 goals from that guy. Yeah. I tell you what, his game is coming along.
He is. What is he up to? 8 goals, buddy? Something like that. 8 goals.
He's at now. Yeah.
7, 8. He got. Yeah. So and unfortunately for Podzilla, I like him. But it's the timing of his goals that put him on second place. Later in the game, sure. Connor came out early, and his points were all really quick. Well, first goal, got the second goal, then assist on the third goal, and it does matter. Timing matters. That's why I have Connor over top of the Podzilla.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that makes some sense. Zuby, probably a good time to grab our DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center, though, YouTube poll, because it does have to do with number 92. Yeah. Uncle Al and Scotty are giving our Got Your Back listeners the gift of golf this Christmas. TJ and the Christmas Elves are grinding to help you find the best gift for the golfer on your list. Purchase a gift card between December 1st and 24th of $100 or more and receive 10% back as a gift for you. Pick yours up at 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. What are we asking tonight, buddy?
Well, I left a W off here, so it's not how many goals, it's how many goals.
Christmas season.
Yeah, that's right. How many goals do you think Podkolzin finishes the season with? And these are the choices. We got 10 to 15. We got 16 to 20, and finally we have 21 or more. So we're breaking it into 3. And the 4th choice would be Yuri Dopita, as I put on the a fake poll I did on that. That's my filler 4th choice.
Yuri Dopita?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Yuri Dopita?
I didn't put that on this one.
So really, what this poll is a little bit about here, Struds, to me, it's not necessarily what he's on pace for right now. The question, the thought for me is, I don't want to use the word floodgates, but is something being unlocked here in Podkolzin? Are we seeing something offensively being unlocked? And will this little run of confidence, I mean, what has he got? He's got 6 points in his last, where is he here? 5 points in his last 5 games played. He's scoring some goals. Something being unlocked here.
Yeah, it's called confidence. He's starting to believe that those pucks are going to go in for him because he was getting chances, but now it feels like he's scoring. If he can become a 20-plus goal scorer for this team with what they traded him for, the whole Holloway situation, what they traded him for, who he's playing with, the contract he's on, this will be one of the greatest home runs in Oilers trade history for Podkolzin. So 8 goals. Let's say he even cools down. He's going to be close to 20, right? If he gets over 20, it'd be so massive for this team because you're playing with Leon, and Brownie always said it last year. Well, he's not scoring. Yeah, I hear you. Well, he is scoring now, and he's still doing all the things that Leon loves about it.
Yeah, for sure. Get your answers in. And we will reveal the results of the poll before Ask Us Anything. Also going to do an Ask Us Anything segment, so fire in your questions. Zuby will grab a bunch of them. You can ask us about anything you want. The game, the trade, hockey, our party last night, anything you want. That's why we call it Ask Us Anything. Focus on that anything part. One more time to the Weiss Johnson Soundbox. Chris Knobloch on the big guns, including Podkolzin, McDavid, and Draisaitl.
Now seeing Podkolzin starting to score, which is very nice. He's been going hard in the nets. You know, he's been working on his shot, and he's always had a good shot, but now he's just driving the net a little bit more and trying to get available. And, well, if you're playing with a guy like Draisaitl, he's going to find you a lot of times. So we need more secondary scoring, and from guys like that, it's nice to see him step up. But, you know, the game Connor and Leon had, especially, as you said, Connor early in the game, Leon in the second half, they were a great 1-2 punch.
So TSN did the poll about Connor McDavid or Nate McKinnon on December 2nd, who's the consensus, you know, best player in the world, that sort of thing. I don't know if any of that caught McDavid's attention or not. We talked about it on the show a lot. I did some hits on That's Hockey about it. He's got 15 points in his last 5 games, Struds. Like, he's absolutely crushing it. 4-2-2, 4-3. McDavid is just taking it to another level, and it's almost like he's doing it for his team, and he's doing it for results. But in a way, it feels to me like he's trying to put a bit of a stamp on things here for himself.
In which way? Just to get a spot back at the top of the food chain, or?
Yeah, I guess I would say he probably has a pretty good sense of how far off his game he was earlier this season. And it's almost like leaving no doubt that he's back. And it's as much to himself, but he's back. And this is a statement 5 games.
Well, I think a couple things. One, the team is doing better. And I think the game flows easier when you're not trying to force it all the time, for not just Connor, but for every player on the planet. And second, when's the last time we saw Connor McDavid smile, not once, but multiple times over the course of the game on the bench? Like, yeah. I haven't seen that. Now, you're at every game, Shogger. I at least watch him on TV, and I go to a number. But he was smiling. Like, after Troy Stecher tapped that in his own net, he was smiling on the bench. So that tells me he's feeling more relaxed. To a teammate, you look over and you see him smile like, okay, maybe we are playing okay because the big guy's not upset anymore. And not because think back to even a month ago, some of the looks he was giving. And I'm not saying they weren't justified. I'm not saying that at all. But it does change the feeling on that bench, and the game flows for you.
Yeah, no question about it. Okay, let's get to our storylines, brought to you by Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots worth millions, and revenue that stays in the province. There's never been a better time to sign up. Right now, you can score a $50 free bet when you make a minimum $50 deposit with the code GYB50. That's code GYB50. Start playing with your game sense today. Find out if you're Alberta's next winner. Zuby, we wanted to center one around Tristan Jarry, and we hit on that one tonight. Our storyline, courtesy Play Alberta. You can find our lines each day across our social media platforms, and also we've got a spot on the Play Alberta app. Zuby, what was the line?
The line was Tristan Jarry to make 24 or more saves. So it was the over on 23.5. So 24 or more saves, and he made 25. It got at one point in time on the in the bug there, they had 24 shots on goal. So we said, okay, and there was it was ticking down 5-6 minutes left, and then it went down to 20. It had been at 24 for a long time, and it went down to 23. And I thought, oh, this was going into the third period. I thought we had this dialed, but then there was that little flurry there. They got him up, so he made 25 saves. So we hit it.
Made some pretty good ones, too. Was there what do I have here? Was there a breakaway? Was it John Tavares that went in?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good save. That's an important good save. I like that one.
First one, too. You know, Regula mishandles on the blue line, and Tavares goes. Not that he's a real burner, but no one's able to catch him. And he made it look easy. And if you're on the bench, you're watching as your new goalie. You're watching everything he does. You know, the timing of the saves. Does he make a save? And everyone's just, okay, he's going to be okay. We got this. So I think that the timing of the save was really important for his teammates.
And that's a hard save. That's that mid blocker, middle of the net blocker side right at the post. Tavares put it in a good place and he stretched out and saved it. It was a really good save. It was his best, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Showed some really good looks. And he will get the day off tomorrow. Calvin Pickard will go against the Montreal Canadiens and then, boy, throw him right back into a pressure cooker. I like the fact that his first 2 starts as an Oilers, Struds, are going to be ones that come with some discomfort, come with some spotlight, come with some pressure, right? He's got the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight on a Saturday night, and on Tuesday night, he's got the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, and I wonder if that'll be goalie versus goalie. So both goalies will be going through it. Both veteran goalies in Skinner and Jarry. So I think it's important for him to go through those moments and just you've got to grow with it and get used to it. And I said at the beginning, but these 5 games are going to be huge. Gets to know his new teammates. Hopefully, comes home with a couple of wins. Feels good about his game. Gets a couple days here to play at home. A couple games in before Christmas, and then Christmas break. Deep breath. Now I'm an Oiler. We're good to go.
All right, time to crunch the numbers. This is the first time that I have had to read the new McDonald's ad read. They got a great little Christmas poem theme going on. You've been crushing it. Gerp is somewhere laughing at us, sending us this tongue twister of an ad. Brought to you by McDonald's. Who's of Canadaville, do be warned. The Grinch is back, and he's feeling quite scorned. He's built a worse box with odd socks as a prize and even left behind a Who Hash surprise. Looking to see the Grinch's big reveal? It's only at McDonald's, his Grinchiest meal. For a limited time only, while supplies last, at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada. It's a blast.
Yes, thank you.
I thought I made up for the stumble by throwing in that rhyme at the end. That was not a scheduled rhyme at the end. I made the whole thing a rhyme.
Didn't rise up to the occasion.
Didn't save it? Okay. Courtesy our friends at Sport Logic, Struds. What numbers caught your eye?
There was a few. I thought the Oilers, it was a fairly even game to start. Then the Oilers just took over, and quite honestly, the Leafs looked really, really slow. So I picked out pucks in the ozone time, or puck in the ozone time, and that was 23:30 for the Oilers versus 18:44 for the Leafs. Ozone possession time, where they actually have the puck on their stick, 7:20 for the Oilers to 3:39 to the Leafs. And I'd imagine there wasn't much in the third period in that for the Leafs. Scoring chances off the cycle, Oilers 10, Leafs 5. That's a really good indicator of how the Oilers are playing in their own zone, keeping things to the outside and making life relatively easy / predictable for Jarry. And then turnover and scoring chances. You guys know this is my favorite. This might be my favorite stat when I talk about game management. I can't help myself. I got to put it in all the time. 8-9 Oilers Leafs. So nothing major. I think if you can keep that, in the single digits, you're in pretty good shape. So all over, all said, Shagar, a pretty good night by the Oilers stat wise.
Yeah, I agree. Good night all around for them. Their game is really rounding into form here on a number of different fronts. We want to focus a lot on defensive things and defensive improvements, and it's a couple of media availabilities in a row where Connor McDavid has been asked about that, and he's kind of like, yeah, I think it has a lot to do with time in the offensive zone, time where they have the puck on the stick and they're generating in the offensive zone and feeling it, right? When you're attacking, you're not defending, and Connor really insisting, yes, they're better defensively, but he thinks it has a lot to do with what's been going on in the offensive zone. M. Bing 2020 says, great show, guys. I usually catch you on the day after, but riding live tonight. Welcome to the live stream. M. Bing 2020. We appreciate you. All right, when we come back, we haven't had a show since the Quinn Hughes deal. I want to know Strud's thoughts on that. We are going to get his takeaways on that, plus Rob Brown going to be joining us soon for his thoughts on the game and a breakdown of the Got Your Back Christmas extravaganza. Ask us anything as well. Get your questions in. We'll be right back after a short break. Mainline Water and Sewer specializes in sewer line repair and replacement using advanced trenchless methods for fast, clean results. They provide detailed sewer assessments and scoping to identify problems before they become costly. Serving both residential and commercial properties, no job is too big or too small, and with over 40 years of experience, they've seen it all. Trust Mainline to keep your lines flowing smoothly.
Why would you? Nobody puts in wood windows or siding anymore, so why put in wood fences? Maintenance-free vinyl fence from DLR is backed by a lifetime warranty and will save you time. Weekends are for playing, not painting. Go vinyl at dlrvinylproducts.ca.
All right, welcome back to the show. Time now for our takeaways, brought to you by Chandos Construction. They don't just hire talent, they invest in their talent. They're 100% employee owned, so when their people grow, the whole company grows as well. Ready to build something that really matters? Apply now at chandos.com/apply. That's chandos.com/apply. We'll talk more about the Oiler game in a bit here. Rob Brown will be joining us shortly. Struds, do you want to get your thoughts on a monstrous deal? A deal so big, so loud that everyone stopped talking about Stuart Skinner and Tristan Jarry for the rest of the day, which I'm sure the Oilers didn't mind. Like, just let them talk about something else after that trade that day. Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, Zeev Bulliam, a really good young defenseman and a first-round pick, ends up being the haul for Quinn Hughes. What's your take on it all, buddy?
Well, Jim Rutherford likes to work fast, and I was really surprised that it happened this quickly, like before Christmas. I didn't see that happening. And I was reading that, he said that, it just came together very quick. Bill Guerin kind of got it done, and that was it. Elliot Friedman tonight said that Hughes, I let them know that he wasn't going to re-sign with them this summer. And now that's pretty clear that I'm not re-signing. So he played the hand he was dealt and got a good young D-man back. Marco Rossi, I see him as a lower second end or lower end second centerman. The other guy, I don't know a lot about it. A little bit older draft pick, so I'm not sure as much. And there'll be a later first round pick. So obviously the prize jewel is Zeev Bulliam in this one. But that's not something even if he turns into a stud in the short term, losing Quinn Hughes, that room would be rocked, like absolutely rocked, because he is their captain, their best player. People probably sign there to stay there, to be with them. Guys like Brock Besser, even Jake DeBrusk, all these guys. It rocks that room. And I think in the short term, it's going to be a rough ride. They're at the bottom. I don't know if it can get much worse, but I think they'll be pushing for a high pick this year. Very high.
Brownie checking in. Rob, we'll get to the Oiler game in a couple of minutes. We're just hitting on this trade. What are your thoughts, buddy, when you heard?
Well, it's funny. I echo a lot of what Struds just said. Can you imagine? Just think back a couple of years ago. Game 7 in Vancouver between the Oilers and Canucks in the playoffs. If they have Demko, if they have Besser, maybe they win that series in Game 7. Maybe they move on. And here you are, not even 2 full years later, and JT Miller, who was all-world in that series, he's gone. Elias Pettersson, who was at that time going to be a superstar in this league, he is not even close to the same player. And then the second-best defenseman in the world, who you're building around, is now traded. And it's what Strutt said, players sign there because they want to be in a winning organization. They re-sign there because they want to be part of something going forward. And all of a sudden, Quinn Hughes is gone. Now, with Quinn Hughes going to Minnesota, I tell you, that is incentive for every team in the Pacific Division to make the top 3. You do not want to be a wild card team and fall into a 4-team divisional series playoffs where you're with Dallas, Minnesota, and Colorado. That is a division of death for a team that goes in as a wild card. So Minnesota, they're going to be very, very good with Quinn Hughes. The Vancouver Canucks are now building, and they are probably 3 to 4 years away from being a competitive playoff team again.
Man, they've really fallen off a lot. Struds, do you think that this was smart for Bill Guerin to do? And we're going to assume that there's no set guarantees about signing or not signing. Sometimes behind the scenes, you can get some good work done. Yeah, a little hypothetical conversation with the agent. If we were to, would you, I don't know if Quinn Hughes is willing to entertain any of that. So if Bill Guerin truly does not know if he's going to have this player into the future, was this too much, you think?
To get Quinn Hughes, no. I'm taking a stab at this. That's how good this guy is. Brownie just said he's the second best D-man on the planet. So if I only get him for 2 years, I'll take it. Look at their D now. They've got a really good group of D there in Minnesota, and another guy to move the puck. And this isn't just a guy that just, you're hoping he moves the puck a bit. He controls the play. So you got, dollar Bill Krill out there. You got Eriksson Ek. I still think they need a center, but let's not make them ruin their day. They've got some talented players around there. Matt Boldy, good goaltending, and an absolute stud defenseman that just dictates the play. Stud. So yeah, I'm doing this for 2 years, 100%. Marco Rossi, I'm not convinced. Like, yeah, he's good. I don't know. He's going to be amazing. The young D-man, I think, is going to be a stud. The first rounder, okay. And then you move on with the other players. So I 100% Brownie. I don't even hesitate to do this deal.
I don't hesitate either, because you're trying to build a Stanley Cup champion. The problem for Minnesota is they're in a division with both Dallas and Colorado. So they've got a battle. Even with adding Hughes, I still believe that they might be the third best team in that division. But, I mean, they'd be a tough team to play against in the playoffs. I think that Bill Guerin believes he can sign Hughes. I think that you have to believe that to give up that much of your future. If you sign Hughes after this contract, it is a huge, huge win for the Minnesota Wild. And we also got to remember, too, is Hughes and his brothers want to play together. One way to make your team better, get one of the Hughes and try to convince the other one to come to your team.
Yeah.
And we had John Shannon on our show last night, and he made a really good point. He said that players that go play in Minnesota love playing in Minnesota, love the lifestyle in Minnesota, love building homes afterwards. He talked about Fleury, Marc-Andre Fleury. He's living in Minnesota after he's retired. So there is a belief that they can get Quinn Hughes, and who knows, when Jack Hughes comes available, maybe he goes to Minnesota. And all of a sudden this becomes an even bigger trade. But I do believe it's a good trade for Minnesota, for Bill Guerin. I think that Vancouver got some pretty good prospects back, but they're now 4 years away from being good. And the Minnesota Wild are a legitimate cup contender now because of the addition of Quinn Hughes.
Yeah, the one thing for me is this Bulliam. Like, this is a really, really good young player. People look at this guy and go, yeah, he is in the mold of, in the early days here, similar to what the guys like Hughes and Makar and Doughty and all. I'm not saying he's going to be those guys, but it is big time arrows up. So when you think about what Quinn Hughes' next contract is going to look like, the dollar figure on that versus Bulliam, if he can really develop quickly here like he looks like he's going to, cost controlled on his first couple of deals at a third, a half the price, this fits Vancouver's timeline a little bit better. Because I don't know even if they kept Hughes, if they were going to be able to speed their timeline up enough, Struds, to have caught Hughes in any kind of window. Like, I don't know if they were going to be able to get it done in that timeline anyway.
It's funny. This is a little bit like the Gilla Nieuwendyk trade when they made that trade, right? Dallas and Calgary, and you're those two guys are obviously we know what Gilla turned into, but there's no guarantee that Iggy is going to become that player. I know what Quinn Hughes is today, and I know he's going to be like for the next 10 years. I'm taking that. Now again, they don't have him for guaranteed 10 years, but I'm taking him for that. I'm taking him.
Yeah. Okay, that was our takeaways. That was brought to you by Shandos Construction. All right, we need to get to Brownie's thoughts on the game. We're going to go a little out of order here and get Brownie Points ready to rock and roll. It is everybody's favorite segment of the show. It is Brownie Points, brought to you by the Alberta Ram dealers. Get 10 years of built-in confidence at your Ram dealer with Canada's best full-size truck limited powertrain warranty. Every new 2026 Ram truck comes with a 10-year, 160,000 kilometer warranty. Check it out at your Ram dealer today. Brownie?
I'm going to start with 25 Brownie Points for the 25 saves by new Oiler goalie Tristan Jarry. There's always pressure when you go to a new team. And there's a little bit added pressure when it's a team that expectation is to win a Stanley Cup. And you're filling a position that they felt was weekend and was one of the big reasons they didn't win a Stanley Cup. Then your first game is going to be on a Saturday night, on hockey night in Canada. So it's a pressure game. And I thought Tristan Jarry handled it very, very well. I don't think he was overly stressed in this game. I thought the Oilers were the better team most of it. But when the game was 2-2, the Toronto Maple Leafs had a power play and a chance to take the lead going into the third period. And I thought that was when Tristan Jarry was at his best. He made 2 or 3 big saves that allowed the Oilers to get the lead going into the third period. So I thought it wasn't a fantastic first night, but it was a good first night for Tristan Jarry. I got 15 brownie points to New Oiler D-man Spencer Stastney, who I believe came as advertised. I think Stastney, to me, is a bit of an unknown, and to the rest of the league, he's only got 82 games under his belt. But the one comment that was used over and over, and I know Strud talked about it a lot the other day on our podcast, is he's a wonderful skater. And I think we saw that tonight. And what I thought was a very quiet, low-event game for Stastney. That's a good thing when you're in the third pairing on a team. So I thought it was a very good debut for Stastney for the Edmonton Oilers. I got 6 brownie points to the Oilers superstars, Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid tonight, who combined for 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points, and were +6. The Oilers superstars badly outplayed the Leaf duo of Nylander and Matthews, who combined for 0 points and -3. I got -21 brownie points to my former Kamloops Blazer teammate and current Toronto Maple Leaf coach Craig Berube, whose Leaf team is currently, I believe, 21st, I think, in NHL standings on the outside of the playoff race. It's not Berube's fault that the Leafs have had injury issues with both their goalies out and their 2 best defensive defensemen out, but it is his problem. And his 2 stars, Nylander and Matthews, tonight looked pedestrian and disinterested. And it looked not only tonight, you look at the stats, it has been an off year for both of their star players. And when a coach loses his star players, usually the coach loses his job. I believe Craig Berube will be on the hot seat very, very soon. I got 37 brownie points to all Oilers fans and media members who feel the Oilers passed up on too many shots each night. Well, tonight the Oilers threw 37 shots on net, and for one of the few times all season long, every single Oiler player had a shot on net. So tonight is a good day for all those fans that yell, "Shoot!" all game long at Rogers. And last but not least, I have 1,000 brownie points.
Whoa.
To Randine Rishaug, who was the hostess with the mostest last night at an incredibly fun, festive Christmas party. Due to the possibility that I may have been overserved, I cannot recall why I promised Randine 1,000 points, but I know that she deserves them, and this extends her overall season lead in the quest for the Brownie Point Cup. So congratulations to Randine, and those are my brownie points.
It's my house too. We share duties. We do things equally around here. 500 of those are mine. 500 are mine. Where do I appeal? You cannot give 1,000 when a couple hosts you. You got to give 500 each. Who does that? Struds. Even you, Struds. Come on.
Wait a second. No. I don't know. Do you recall the game we played? How well she drew pictures after some of the terrible things that you were a terrible drawer, really poor drawer. She just continued to make really nice pictures. She was, of all the people singing in the Rishaug family, she had the prettiest voice. I think it was just pretty obvious that whole party was, she did it all. I think you invited us. The rest of it was Randine.
It actually turns me off when you beg for points, Shogger. It's just.
Well, I'm not here to turn you on, big guy. I'm here to win. I'm here to win.
That's true.
Turning you on or off, I don't care.
Unbelievable. Well, you're not winning and you're turning me off. So what are you doing?
Shogger, you might as well go. You should go full heel turn now and just see how many you can get taken away, because you're never going to catch 1,000 plus whatever Randine already had. Good luck. You'll never catch that. So you might as well lay into it here.
That's not a bad idea. See how many I can get taken away. Although he'll start giving them to me. Yeah. So maybe that's reverse psychology. I don't mind losing to Randy. I don't. It's not that I'm going to lose to her. But in situations where I should be getting them that will let me beat Struds, they're going to Randine instead. I'm worried about beating Struds, not my wife, in this competition.
But that's the problem. So you're trying to win a game that I'm not even playing. I don't even.
Oh, that's annoying. Oh, I want to beat you so bad. Okay. Lots more on the Got Your Back Christmas party coming up, but we got to talk a little bit more Oilers here because we just got Brownie. So let's get to our core adjustments brought to you by HSE Core Services. From creating and managing safety programs to audits and those required contractor registries, HSE Core keeps your business compliant so you can keep working. Visit www.hsecor.com. That's www.hsecore.com. Okay, Brownie, really solid road win for the Oilers here. You know, they're on a nice little run. They're putting some wins together. Lots of confidence, I would say, in their game. Some smiles, some positive energy. Like, how much has this thing turned from where it was before? And do you think that they're on the other side of it in that the risk falling back to as bad as it was before is kind of in the rearview mirror?
Yeah, I think this is the way you expect them to play. I mean, they're not going to be good every night. And I think sometimes we forget that. I mean, over the course of 82 games, you're going to have blips. And maybe the Buffalo game the other day was a blip because they put together a long stretch. But they found a way in that game to get a point. I think the biggest thing right now is they're playing better defensively. And there's two star players have taken it up a level. Connor McDavid is a different player now than he was 12 games ago. Completely different. I think right now he's averaging 2.5 to 3 points a game in his last 6-7 games. He's at Connor McDavid level. Leon Draisaitl is back to being the superstar that we know that Leon's capable of. Both of them are flying up the scoring charts right now. And they're doing it, which is something we've talked about. They're doing it on separate lines. So all of a sudden, it's not one and done when the Oilers put their best players on the ice. It's Connor's line goes out, then Leon's line goes out, and the other team is reeling. And then there's a face-off in the offensive zone. You come back with Connors again. So, yeah, I do believe the Oilers, they're playing much better hockey. They're a confident group, and I think that's the biggest thing. And you talked about smiling. We didn't see smiles for about 18 to 22 games this year because it was a team that lacked confidence. They had no idea what was going on. This is a team that it's like when the Harlem Globetrotters start playing around, they're all high-fiving, smiling, giggling at each other. Everything's going their way. That's what the Oilers are feeling right now, and that's bad for the opposition because the Oilers right now feel they can outscore any mistake they make, and we're seeing that more so nowadays.
Is your buddy Pod Colton making you a believer in his ability to score more regularly?
Yes, he is, and that's a good point. So that goal that they scored, not the one that went in off his leg, that's a good goal for Colton being in the right spot. But the goal that Leon put on his stick, Colton, who works harder than anyone, and I don't go to practice, but Schauger does, and I've talked to lots of people, hardest working guy, first guy on, last guy off. And what I love about what he does, he works on situations that he may see in a game. A lot of players, when you go on the ice, I'm going to go fly around the ice. I'm going to go bar down every time I can because it looks cool. And if I miss the net, it makes a big sound off the board, off the glass. He's working on situational things. The goal that he scored, two things. The pass Leon Draisaitl made, it was an absolute bullet, which allows Colton to just deflect it. Because where the puck went, that would have been hard to shoot it. But Colton found that puck coming through feet and was able to turn his stick the right direction to allow it to go in the net. That's not an easy play. It's not. When you got a man on you, stick, the puck's in skate, and the pass is a bullet, it's not easy. But when you practice it over and over and over and over again, it becomes muscle memory. So, yes, I do believe Bud Colton has turned a corner and can become more of an offensive player as a top six guy as opposed to just a puck retrieval guy.
Just give us an overarching thought on Jarry in there. It's a different look than Skinner, Brownie. I know you had him a little bit in the Brownie Points, but what did you think overall? Kind of the way he handled the puck, the way he there was some talk about his having a more active stick maybe than Stewart did at certain times. We're not goaltending experts, but what did you see?
Well, he does handle the puck better than Skinner, but Skinner does not handle the puck well. I mean, that is a huge upgrade right there. And we know from watching, and I know from playing, and Strud certainly knows from being a defenseman in the NHL, if you have a goaltender that moves the puck well, is that great for your defenseman? Because it just takes you out of harm's way as a defenseman, and as a forward, he can snap the puck up to you, and you're catching other teams without letting them get into the forecheck. I mean, the stat line was very similar to what Stuart Skinner does here. He had 3 goals against. He had an .893 save percentage. So it wasn't, eye-popping the stats, but he made big saves at the right time. He stopped the Tavares breakaway when the game was close, and he was excellent on a penalty kill. So it was the time of the saves that he made them. So to me, again, Tristan Jarry, if you're coming to a new organization, you want to get your first win right away. Take the pressure off. But we're not judging Tristan Jarry on anything he does between now and April 18th. We're judging Tristan Jarry and what he does in the playoffs. But tonight I thought was a nice start for him, and he got a win, and that's important for him and the Oilers.
All right, that was your core adjustments brought to you by HSE Core Services. We're going to take a break. Our next segment, you're going to want to stick around. We're going to go to Struddy's World when we come back, and then after that, a full debrief on the Got Your Back Christmas party last night, hosted equally by me and my wife, Randine, here at the Rishaug house. We did an equally good job of hosting our friends and family. Full details, what we like best, everybody's top 3 moments, plus some pranks, some videos, some duets. We've got it all for you. Stick around for this next segment here on Got Your Back, presented by Timberhouse Developments. At Modern Measure, every item of clothing starts from scratch and is designed from the ground up, based on both your style preferences and current fashion trends. Their clothing is fully designed to give you the exact look you're looking for, down to the smallest details and customization. The Modern team will work with you to make sure that you not only look and feel great, but make the most of your investment. On the ground floor of Edmonton Tower downtown, Modern Measure.
Choosing to buy a home is one of the biggest financial and personal decisions you'll ever make. It's a decision that requires strategic planning, market expertise, and a trusted advisor to guide the way. The team at Body Realty with Royal LePage AR team combines deep market knowledge, forward-thinking guidance, and exceptional dedication to make the process effortless and stress-free. Where every client is treated like the only client, visit BaddyRealty.com, a real estate group like no other.
Allison941 says, did you karaoke the Schooner's World theme song? No, we did not. Not a bad idea. Zuby, we might have to dust off the Schooner's World theme song tonight. Maybe we wrap the show with that?
I've got it on the board. Yeah, that's a permanent fixture on the soundboard now.
Okay, let's go fishing for likes. We haven't begged for likes, barked for our supper much this year. What are we at for likes right now? Let's put a number on it for Schooner's World theme song, Zuby.
I got 109 here is what I'm seeing.
That's not enough. Over 600-700 on the stream. Struddy, what number you want to hit? You call it.
I don't know. How many brownie
200?
points did how many did he take away from you tonight? Again, he took 200 away from you tonight.
Take any away. Deprived me of 500 that I deserved. Why don't we go? Can we get to 175, Zuby? Is that reasonable for the Schooner's World theme?
No, that's too low. It's got to be more than that. It should be
225.
It should be at least 250.
Oh, well, I want to hear the song though. I'm worried. I'm not sure I have the faith in the people.
They've got it. They're already working.
All right.
I can see it.
All
already.
right, 250 is the number. Sorry, folks. I tried to bring it back. Tis time now for Struddy's World. Roll that animation, Zoobs.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
Time now for Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. As Alberta's #1 vinyl product supplier, DLR offers a top quality material to build a fence or a deck that will not rot, will not fade, or fall apart. If you need a skilled contractor to take care of the job or prefer a DIY approach, DLR can help set you up with all you need. Canadian owned and operated, locations in Calgary and Edmonton. They're my brothers, right? Rob runs the branch in Calgary. Rick runs the branch here in Edmonton. Check them out online. DLRvinylproducts.ca. Why would ya only give one host brownie points after a night like that? Go ahead, Struds.
We had a really nice evening last night over at Shoggy's house, and won't get into everything we did before. I'm sure that'll come out later. But after some games, some good times, and a few drinks, we decided we're going to do some karaoke. So we sit down in the main area, and there's the karaoke machines there and ready to go. And, Brownie says, I got the first song. And Brownie and I have been friends a long time. I've had so many good times at Brownie. Like, I'm talking hundreds of good times. So I'm like, my good friend Rob Brown will get this right and keep the energy going, because the energy was bumping. We'd had a lot of drinks by this point. So he asked for the song. I'm like, I'm not familiar with that song, but I guess we'll do it. He proceeded, everyone, to sing the most depressing song he could have chosen out of all the karaoke lists across the world. He chose to do Chris Christopherson's absolute banger, Sunday Morning Coming Down. And I was chirping the whole time he was singing it. And then to make sure I was right, I went back and I listened to it this morning when I was driving around. I'm like, nope, I was right, even though it had a few drinks in my back pocket. Why someone would choose that as the first song to start a party? It was literally throwing cold water on anything we were trying to do. It was horrendous, guys. Horrendous choice.
We basically had to convince everyone not to just put on their coats and walk out. It was like,
done.
Everyone's a little awkward. Like, are we going to do this? Are we going to sing in front of each other? Are we going to do this? We were nicely lubed up, but it was like, are we going? We're like, okay, we're doing it. Here goes. We all just sat on the couch with our hands on our knees while Brownie sat there belting out this, I don't know, Strud. It was just the most.
I did not know that I was the DJ and you needed me to sing so you could dance. I picked a song that's in my range, and then you guys catcalled me. I was like rocking that song. I was dead on.
You weren't.
Now that you've listened to it, you know that I was dead on. It is a slower song. It's talking about having a hangover after a nice night out. I thought about it on the way home, and I really think it was because I had just won every single game that we played.
Oh, jeez.
That you guys just had to ridicule me in my song choice. Like, I just absolutely dominated game night. And then you're like, well, we can't let him be the best singer, too. So we're going to make fun of this absolute gem of a song from Chris Christopherson, Star is Born, and it hurt my feelings, but then Strud started making fun of my wife singing, and then I felt better about myself because I was a better singer than her.
We have it on video somewhere. At one point, Struds, Brownie's like straining to hit some note, and he bobbled a word, and Struds looks over at him and goes, have you even ever heard this song before? The church stopped flowing hard. I don't know. I feel like as the first on deck, Struds, you have a responsibility to the party.
You do.
I feel like that's obvious. Let's
set
go.
the tone.
Yes.
Let's go.
That's an end of the night song. And guys, I've had this one in the back. I really like it. This was a family song we used to listen to. I get it. But I'm all hyped up. I'm coming off a high of a bunch of eggnogs and rum. And I have to listen to you sing this about a guy who's had a headache. Yeah, I'll have a headache tomorrow. I don't need to hear about it right now.
The Neon Rider says Sunday Morning Coming Down is a great song. So the Neon Rider's got you, Brownie.
Thank you.
Not for that moment. Not appropriate.
Why would you pick that damn song to get going? That was Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Okay. All right, let's get to taking a couple of laps around the Rishaug house and the Got Your Back Christmas party. I'm not sure how Riverside Motorsports is going to feel about us dedicating this entire segment to this, but we're doing it, damn it. Brought to you by Riverside Motorsports, family owned and operated, serving Edmonton and area for over 55 years, featuring top brands and delivering the best selection in Alberta, a massive inventory of parts and accessories, and recognized as the #1 KTM dealership in the country. Check them out at www.riversidemotorsports.com. I think probably the only place to start here, Brownie, is maybe just your experience in getting to the party last night, Brownie, from my phone call to you to your experience. Just take us through your experience there.
Well, you did tell us that to Uber to and from. He said that got your back, is throwing a party, we're taking care of the Ubers. I said, okay. So then you called me yesterday afternoon and said, hey, have you booked your Uber yet? I said, I have not, but we're planning on it. He says, okay, I got a guy. I've got a guy that looks after us. You want him? Can I send him to come pick you up? He's in the area. I go, yeah, sure. He goes, okay. Just so you know, he's a little odd. There's something a little wrong with him. He's a little off. He's nice, but I mean, you're gonna see when you see him, you're gonna see that maybe there's a little bit creepy about him. But you'll feel safe. Don't worry, he'll drive safe. And I at that point, it's not a great selling point to you by you. I'm like, I'm not feeling the love here, but. Sure. So then I get a phone call from you as the driver there. I said, yeah, he's parked in front of my neighbor's house, so not a good start for him. But then I walked out there, and my neighbor was there, and I'm talking with my neighbor who's shoveling, and I called my Uber guy up, and he rolls his window down. I said, are you Rishaug's friend? Brownie! Oh, Brownie! I love you, Brownie! And I'm like, hello? And he had this thick Russian accent, and I get in. I said, how you doing? He goes, oh, Brownie, I love Brownie Points. I love it. He keeps going on. And cool, where are you from? He goes, I'm from Russia. And then my wife got in and I introduced her. And we started talking about Siberia. We started talking about Putin, the KHL. And we're having this really good conversation. We're asking how long you've been here. Do you got family over here? And about 20 minutes into the conversation, and this is going to turn into about an hour and a half drive because this guy is a horribly slow driver. But he finally turns around and goes, it's me. And he said something, and I'm half deaf now. I couldn't understand him. And my wife starts giggling because she knows I didn't hear him. And he says it again, and it was actually Zuby driving the car. It wasn't really an Uber driver. It was Zuby. I had no idea. I'd never met Zuby before. I've seen him on the little picture on my computer. So we were 20 minutes into the drive, and I thought I was driving with some Russian Uber driver. But it was really the guy that I see 15 times a month on my computer.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. We got some video of this, Zuby. I have to say, so we were trying to figure out, like, how long to let it go for, Zuby. It sounds like you did a great job. And why Russian? Why did you choose to go with the Russian accent?
I don't know. It's probably just because maybe I could do a British accent, but that didn't make much. I don't think that would have made much sense. I felt like it was more maybe connected to this whole idea of driving an Uber, and I'm sure my accent is going to get just roasted here on the chat because it's all over it's all over the place.
It's way worse than Strud's Aussie. It's worse than Strud's. Struds, you haven't seen this video yet, have you?
No.
What went down last night?
And accents are hard. I appreciate it, Zub. The effort.
All right, here we go. This is
roll the video. This was Christoph.
Okay, we're gonna try to pull a prank on Brownie here. And we'll see. Oh, there he is. Okay, I'm going to pull up.
Christoph?
Hello, Brownie. How are you?
Nice
to meet you.
Nice to meet you. My wife's just coming out right now.
Okay, no problem. I pull up over here.
Like Triumph, the comic dog.
Pull hard, yes.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing just fine, thanks.
This is my wife, Holly. This is Christoph.
Hello, Holly. Good to meet you. Pleasure to meet you both. Brownie, famous Brownie. From the Brownie Points.
Yeah, that is right, yeah. You're a hockey fan?
KHL fan, mostly.
Oh, nice.
Metallurg.
How long have you been in Canada?
1 year, about.
So whereabouts are you from in Russia?
Mostly Siberia.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes, this feels like home, absolutely.
Brownie, it's me, Zuby. I'm driving.
Seriously? Come on. Okay, that's funny.
I couldn't keep it going anymore. I was running out of things to say.
I can't believe he fell for that. That was so bad.
What are you talking about? That was so good. Like, there's nobody would have known that was Zuby. That accent was spot on. From the northern tip of Siberia. Yeah.
That's so funny.
We're friends. Holly and I are friendly. We were going to have a conversation about Russia with you the whole way.
I know, but I was like I said, I hadn't created enough backstory for this character, so they keep asking me questions. It turns into this big conversation, and I'm running out of shit to say. I'm making stuff up.
You just gave up. You just gave up. You're like, oh, just kidding, Brownie. It's Zuby.
Well, also the driving conditions were very poor, so I'm like trying to pay attention to the road and not be thinking up new bits for my character.
Allison says here, this was the part that just kills me. She goes, loses the accent 100% on the So where are you from? And you go, Siberia. Accent was just gone. Siberia. And then, oh, man. Oh, that was awesome. Ruby, nice work on that, buddy. That was good stuff. So that's how it started. And then Strud, you didn't know Zuby was going to be there either, so it was a nice little surprise when you came through the door. And quite a nice embrace between the two of you. I would say got the night off to a good start. You went full hug.
Yeah, no, like Zuby, Brownie, and I are very, very close. We have a side chat that we do all the time.
Why does it have to?
And Randine, actually. Randine's in that chat as well. So
yeah, we got 100%.
Yeah. So we're going top three moments from the night for each of us. So I don't know, Brownie, why don't you get started, buddy? What were your top three nights, top three moments?
Okay, there's a lot of them. I'm gonna go with, obviously number one was the absolute domination by me in all the games. It was, I mean, I don't come trying to win games, but it was just too easy. It was too easy, and I mean, there's a couple self high fives because you guys were all sad because I was winning. So that was probably one of my favorites. I think number two would have been the effort that Shona put into her performances on karaoke. I don't think anybody worked as hard, worked the room she did, the facial expressions. She hit the high notes.
Sober.
Yeah, with the cold. So I think that would be number two. But I think the third one is probably the highlight of everybody that was there was Islands in the Stream rendition with me and Strud, Kenny and Dolly. I mean, it brought the house down. I saw there was tears. Some people were crying because we were so good. We touched them, Strud. Like, I got to be Dolly, which was kind of cool. I got to be Dolly. You were Kenny. And I'm not sure the real version by Kenny and Dolly would have brought out as much emotion as you and I brought out last night. I think we actually might have to go karaokeing, you and I, and just let the rest of the world see how good we can do that song.
Well, I'm thinking Canadian Island. I'm not sure who said it, but someone said, I hope that you guys have insurance on this house because we're about to blow the roof off this place.
Okay. We have video. You know what? People on the stream can be the judge. We've got video and audio. Here is the unlikely duet. Jason Strudwick and Rob Brown, Islands in the Stream. Roll it, Zuby.
Tender love is blind. It requires a dedication. All this love we feel needs no conversation. We ride it together. In love with each other.
Sitting next to each other.
That is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other.
Oh my God. Oh boy. You know.
Actually, you know what? Actually, Shogger, now that I reheard it, it's actually better than I thought. Like, I knew it was good. That's actually even better, Strud.
We might better release it to raise some money, right? I don't know where we want to raise those funds, but maybe you can once a fundraiser. We could put that out.
Well, Listen, it has provided us the sound bite that will remain on my board forever, and it's this.
Do with each other. Love with each other. Oh.
Yeah, you guys sitting on a couch next to each other singing that.
Love with each other. Oh.
So every time you want to team up on Gang Up on Me, that's coming out. Zuby, your top 3 moments.
Well, I guess probably my number one for me personally was people might not have thought I had this on my bingo card, but it's been a lifelong dream to duet "The Heat Is On" by Glenn Fry with Struddy, and
that was solid.
I thought that was like a triple and probably then like an error we scored on an error, not quite a home run, but like a triple, scored the run on an error. One little thing, I knocked a glass off of the high top counter table, a full glass, and the glass didn't break, and I just somewhat surreptitiously cleaned up the mess behind everybody. So I felt like that was a win for me. And Shogger, I liked when you broke out the guitar. I was trying to remember what you hit us with there at the end of the night, but Shogger broke out the guitar rather, and that was solid as well.
Nice. All right. Those are good 3 moments. Struds, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah, well, the fact that I walked in and saw Zuby, I didn't register right away. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I was so caught off guard. So Zuby being there made the whole night. I would love to have Steve in there, but we had one person representing us from Kelowna. The next one was the decorations in the home. I love candles. I love Christmas decorations. She absolutely killed it. And then I think for me, the funniest part of the night is when I would be singing or someone would be singing. For example, I'd be singing, The Gambler, and I'd say something, and Brown would be like, "Where are we going?" I'm like, "On a train bound for nowhere." He'd always have something to say, like,
"Who'd you meet up with?"
Yeah, like it was the funniest thing.
How were you feeling? We were both too tired to sleep. Yeah, that was a classic Brownie move. Classic Brownie. It was all night, every song.
I've never seen anyone do that before. Like, I was laughing so hard this morning. I woke up. I'm like, the timing was perfect. Where are we going? How are we feeling? What are we doing? Oh my God! So great night.
Yeah, he was a good hype man he started slow on the karaoke, but he was a good hype man for sure. One of my favorite moments, Zuby, what was your first chance to crush karaoke on your own? What song did you pick? It was like an epic tune. You went first, and like,
I don't know. Thank God I'm a country boy.
Okay, so Thank God I'm a Country Boy, and like 15 seconds into Zuby taking center stage, we get a FaceTime from Steve Taylor that kills the audio and leaves Zuby standing there. And so Steve FaceTimed in at the perfect time, right, to ruin Zuby's spotlight moment. I had a good laugh at that. Yeah, for sure.
Some people were bleeding.
I have to admit the Islands duet was on my list as well because it was just, and I believe that was my idea. I'm pretty sure I'm the one that said we have to have a Strudwick Rob Brown Islands in the Stream duet.
Let's
and that's
make it about you.
Yeah, no, well, it was. It never would have happened. Everybody's favorite moment never would have happened if it wasn't for me. And then the last one, this is a little bit more subtle. Brownie was crushing it during this one game. It was annoying how good he was at this game. And like win once, sure, whatever, right? He dominated 2 games in a row. Well, all of a sudden, Uncle Struddy on the other side of the table, I saw him. He like set his drink aside, asked for a glass of water. He got super serious. I could tell you decided, Struds, I'm not letting this prick win a third time. You got super serious and you dialed in for about 4 minutes. You sobered up and you prevented him from winning again. I thought that was pretty baller of you there, Struds.
No, I think it's really interesting. You're so accurately relaying what happened because I wasn't trying. Like Connor McDavid, I woke up in the first period, got 3 points, and I stopped trying the rest of the time. That's exactly what happened. So,
oh boy. All right. It was a great time, guys. It was a
Really
great
good
time.
time.
And Merry Christmas to everybody. Okay, Brownie, I think you're done for the night, buddy. So on your way out, Zuby, and as we go to our final break, I think maybe we go to break with that Islands in the Stream duet.
Sure.
Brownie, have a good one, buddy. We'll talk tomorrow.
Good night, everybody.
All right. We'll be right back here on Got Your Back. Here it is again.
Tender love is blind. It requires a dedication. All this love no conversation. We ride it together.
What do you do with each
Make
other?
in love with each other.
Harmonize.
Almonds in the stream.
Yes.
That is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world.
What are you gonna do?
And we rely on each other.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit belvederegcc.com today.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Love it. Time now for our scoreboard, brought to you by The Bridge Fit. If you've been putting off treatment, now's the time to book and make the most of your coverage before it renews in 2026. Year-end availability is filling up fast across all locations, so do not wait. You might as well squeeze in there, get a little tune-up before the Christmas season. Bridge, providing accessible team-based care across Alberta. Learn more at thebridge.fit. She's a Saturday Struddy, and it's still a little early, so not a lot finished, but lots of action out there.
Wow, 13 games tonight. Pretty incredible. I should mention here that the Montreal Canadiens played as well. They lost in overtime to the New York Rangers in New York. So I'm guessing both the Oilers and Montreal will arrive same time. I bet you Oilers will even get back to Montreal sooner. So 5-4 loss in New York for the Canadiens. Devils do the Oilers a solid by beating the Ducks 4-1. That was at home. The Ducks are on the road. Continuing down, some other interesting ones. The Golden Knights beat the Blue Jackets 3-2. Not a ton of goals in that one, or shots, I should say. And the last one, there was just a crazy game. I watched the first half. I saw the Penguins get up 5-1 on the San Jose Sharks. They find a way to lose that one 6-5. So five straight goals. I think both teams had 5 straight goals. And then Johnny Klingberg gets his 6th and 7th goals of this year. On assist from Celebrini in overtime to win 6-5 in overtime. 43-32 the shots were for the Penguins in that one, Shogger. That game was great. I stopped watching it because I'm like, it's over. And then I turned it back on. It's overtime.
It's over. And no, Skinner was not in net, for anybody asking. Did you see the winning goal, Struds? Did you see John Klingberg absolutely walk Sidney Crosby in the middle of the ice? So we saw Connor McDavid the other day blow coverage in an overtime. Sidney Crosby did the exact same thing. He got walked by Klingberg, who then dished a little give and go. But that was 87 there, Struddy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, if you play long enough, something like that's going to happen to you. Remember when Sid did it to, it was Darnell Nurse, and I forget who the other forward was on that one. But that's a long time ago. Anyways, hell of a game to watch. 11 goals have been so much fun. I think Sid, I don't think he tied Mario, but I think he creeped a little bit closer to the all-time points leader for the Penguins in that game. I think he's maybe 1 or 2 short.
All right, that is our scoreboard, brought to you by the Bridge Sports Therapy and Training. Zuby, why don't you hop in here, buddy? Let's wrap up our YouTube poll, courtesy DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. How optimistic were the fans about Podkolzin's prospects for some more goals this season?
I thought they were measured in their response here, with the question being, how many goals do you think Podkolzin finishes the season with? 16-20, coming in with 64% of the vote. 21 or more, only 18, and 10 to 15, also 18. So right in that sweet spot, 16 to 20. People feeling like that's where it's going to land. Somebody on the stream here too, I had a good comment pointed out. 20 Draisaitl Paddle said 20 even strength goals is hard to do. And of course, that's where all of his are going to have to come from. So I thought that was a really good point.
Very salient point from Draisaitl's Paddle. Okay, time for Ask Us Anything. Thanks for all your contributions. Quick check, Zuby, on the likes. How many before Schoona's World?
187. We're way short.
You set it too high. I knew.
No, you got to make it worth. You got to set the bar high so people know how valuable it is.
Okay, 250 is the number. You want to hear the Schoona's World theme song of AI brilliance? We need to get to 250. So start pounding on that love button. Our Ask Us Anything segment is brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies. Founded in 1976, BJ Electric Supplies is a full-line distributor providing quality wholesale electrical products for use in industrial, commercial, and residential settings. Proudly owned and operated in Edmonton. Visit bjelectric.ca. Okay, Zuby. At one point while we were playing the video of you and your Russian accent, I looked over on the chat. And I mean, Oiler fans can power through anything. There was a debate going on about, I think like Broberg and something else. So there was a completely separate conversation, ignoring the comedy and debating Philip Broberg.
Yeah, that's fine. I appreciate that. I appreciate people tuning out that. Oh, I could have very harsh on myself for my improv skills and fake Russian accent.
You were great.
There was a good comment here that I just had. Let's call him Mr. Worker. Says Pods isn't exceeding any expectations. He's just finally doing what anyone would expect from him playing on Dry's line. And he was a top 10, I think he was a 10th overall pick, right? Do you agree with that? Do you think he's meeting expectations now or exceeding them, Struddy?
He makes interesting points. I'm not going to reject it right away. I think that when he came to Edmonton, no one really knew what he could be there. He moved to a second place to try to figure out what he was. I didn't know how hard he worked away from the puck to get the puck back. So I think that exceeded my expectations. The offensive part probably was lower than I expected. So now that he's still working hard and getting hits and doing all those types of things, and now starting to get some offense, I think he's a way more complete player than I ever would expected. Even if he gets to 15 to 20 goals, this is a real success story, because if he didn't want him, Leon will not have him beside him. They are locked together, those two. I have a hard time seeing him come off that line, Sugar.
Well, it depends when those expectations were set. On draft day, if the expectations were talking to draft day, well, he's starting to come. He's a high pick. Was he 10th? Starting to come around and be a top 6 forward. And starting to produce a little bit. So if those were your expectations that day, or your expectations on the day the Oilers traded for him, far surpassed expectations based on that trade and what they were getting, or expectations from the start of this season, I would say he's meeting expectations and probably exceeding them a little bit. He's pushing through in a way. So it depends on what lens you use, but he's had a great season. He's been there, work ethic, conscience, and he's starting to feel it offensively. So arrows up.
If people were feeling like maybe this episode is light on Oiler content, we actually got really good questions here tonight. We'll still get to a couple fun ones too, but I just want to let people know. Continuing on that same thought, D. White wants to know, is it automatic for that Roslovic is back with the Draisaitl line with Podkolzin when he comes back? Do you see that as the how much of a guarantee is that he goes, that's the line, Sugar?
That's what I'd do. That's what I would do. I think Matt Savoy is ready to do all of the quality things that he's currently doing on a third line, and it's going to make their third line better. It's going to make their third line faster, and it's going to help. So I think Roslovic finished. He was playing great when he got hurt, Struds. I see no reason to not give him every opportunity when he gets back. Maybe a game or so to get his feet underneath him, but he's got to go right back into that top 6.
I think short term, you're probably right. Those top 2 lines are really going. You're not going to break that up, but they have to figure out this third line. And I keep thinking Nuge and Roslovic on the third line. I can't get that out of my head because they need this third line is not working
Who the hell's in the top
right now.
6?
I know, but right now, they almost have 2 first lines and 2 fourth lines, is how I'd phrase where the Oilers are at with their lines. So there needs to be the third line has to. Now that's this a longer term goal of mine. So yeah, short term, 100%, but that's not a long term solution at all.
Mars Boy wants to know: does Wallman move back to the left side? Of course, the Stastney is also a lefty. So who, when the group's healthy now, who's going to their wrong side?
You know what? Yeah, you know, like that third pairing's pretty inexperienced. You know, between the two of them, I don't know if they even have 200 games, I should say. So I would probably, oh man, do I want to do that? I think I'd put Wallman back beside Nurse. No, what am I saying? God, in the playoffs, I'd probably put him there. Jeez, I'm having a tough time with this one.
Well, listen, you got Bouchard and Ekholm on the top pairing. You got Darnell Nurse ready to go next. You've got Regula. But if you don't drop Regula down and you go Wallman on the left side, then you've got Stastney and Wallman that are both lefties. So are you playing Wallman as a third pairing right shot guy with Stastney? Because I don't love the idea of Stastney and Regula together as a third pairing.
Well, no, I don't. But I don't like the idea of Stastney and Regula or Emberson as a third pairing either. You know, that's the problem.
Well, Emberson would be out. Emberson would be out, right?
Right.
So
so I think if you do it, if you spread the big guys out, you go top 2, then left side, let's go Stastney, Nurse on the left side, and then Regula and Wallman on the that second and third pairing again, equal minutes. So you're spreading the minutes out more equally, and maybe that's the way they start. So yes, that's how I do it, because I believe Regula and Stastney have higher upsides than Emberson right now. Although I think Emerson's playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Let's go to a bunch of people brought this up. I'll use Soggy Corpse's question. With the trade being so fresh, Jarry's wearing a bit of Penguins gear. He had the mask and the stick. But where did the pads come from? And what's the process of getting new equipment on a new team? And I don't know, I guess not that surprised. Just I'm surprised the gear looked, nearly new. Even if he wanted it, he's only had one ice time to wear it if someone else hasn't been breaking it in for him. How does that work, Shogger?
So I was talking to Noodles. He said he was texting with an equipment guy of his. They'd make pads in 2 to 3 days, but they have pre-cut material from a lot of different teams' colors, so they can rush stuff through quickly if needed. So if they've got designs and colors ready to go, then they just flop them on there and they're off and running. I don't know how fast. I don't know how he got his stuff so fast, though. I don't know how that happened. That was impressive.
Marvin wants to know, Struddy, he says, can't wait to listen to Overdrive on Monday. Struds, will you be making a guest appearance, or do you expect now you're not going to hear from those guys for like 3 weeks?
Yeah, no, I'm not getting a call. There's no way. We didn't really talk about the Leafs. I thought the Leafs looked slow, really slow, especially as the game went on. I didn't even notice Nylander and Matthews. Like I actually was trying to find them on the ice, and I could not find them. Really, the Hildebeest, that they've been building him up. Not that he was the reason they lost, but he wasn't great. Like I don't know how Craig Berube was going to sleep tonight. Like there was nothing really joyful about that game. So there's no way I'm getting a call off the heels of that game. Not a chance.
There were a couple comments here about Austin Matthews. What happened to Matthews? He was nowhere. Ro Nelson said he was invisible tonight. What did you make of his game, Shogger? And how much of this do you think is still him adjusting to life without Mitch Marner?
Yeah, just quiet. It's the same thing. I'm trying to remember any plays, anything that happened that sort of stands out. Like he's not in my notes once. I haven't even written his name down other than the Leafs line Struds. Like that's it. There was just nothing there.
And the problem for this, Shocker, is that on the other side, the older stars they weren't just showing up; they were shining so brightly. And Connor was the best player on the ice. And Leon was good. Don't get me wrong, but Connor was shining brightly. You couldn't even see Matthews out there. Like tell me if I'm wrong. Anyone on the stream, did he do something that you like? Wow, what a play! Nothing. Nothing. Brownie's point about Craig Berube maybe getting on the hot seat, I don't know. Maybe there's something there because that was an absolute beatdown on Saturday night hockey, and your Stars did not look good. They did not come and show up.
Yeah, you would think not on the coaching front, but I don't know the way Pete DeBoer is viewed out there, and if he changes timelines for teams because of his availability.
I thought Nyes was the only Leaf that stood out.
Yeah.
Works hard, skates.
A few more here, Zuby.
Yeah. Nate Hay says Jarry's lateral movement is way better and puck handling as well. I think the puck handling thing pretty clearly is an improvement there. Struddy, what do you make of that in the game? Did you like playing with a goalie who was a better puck player?
Oh, I loved it. I wanted them to be all better puck player handlers than me. I didn't want to touch it. Even in warm up, I didn't want to touch it. So yeah, it makes a big difference. And you know what? It's not every time you have to play the puck for me, but when I'm really jammed up, the smart goalies like Dwayne Rolson, he just knew when you were really jammed up and he was going to make the right play. When I have time, I don't need you to make the play. I want to make the play. Let me touch the puck so the coach will give me a sticker after the game. But when I'm jammed up, that's when I need you to help me out. I think that's the big deal about the goalies that play it.
He had that one play where he zipped it up ice. Like Skinner doesn't make that play. Wasn't
Way
quite
up
Mike
there.
Smith-like, but he played it way up there. Yep.
Yeah. He doesn't play as much as Mike Smith, but if I feel like when he is going to play it, it'll make a difference.
Now, and I'm not going to sure how to something Armstrong. Let's call him Armstrong. Says Regula looked good in both ends of the rink tonight. Very solid. We've kind of questioned what we've seen from him more recently, especially since he was injured. But does he deserve a little bit of love tonight, Schauger?
Yeah. He had a few tough moments, Struds. I'm a little bit concerned with what I'm seeing in his puck skills. Like, I feel like it's gone the wrong way a little bit in terms of his like calm and poise with the puck from what we saw in the early going. So something I'm kind of keeping an eye on. What do you think, Struds?
Yeah, I think that the turnover at the blue line, the breakaway to John Tavares, that's a concern. Like maybe that's where some of that concern for you comes through with that. I actually think he had some pretty nice moments with the puck. I don't want him to become like an Evan Bouchard where he's very calm with the puck and that gets him in trouble. I think it's better when he moves the puck quicker. He's not the fastest skater. I still like to see a little physicality, but he is definitely playing better than he was, let's say, 6 weeks ago on the immediate return of the hit from Kane.
Yeah, the question is when Wallman is back, excuse me, they've given this Regula Nurse pairing a lot of time here. Is he playing well enough to give them the confidence to spread those three left shot guys out over three pairings? And I'm not sure, if they'll want to continue to give him the minutes that he's having to play on that pairing right now.
Okay, a couple quick things to wind it up here. We're done with hockey. Allison wants to know, what do you eat for breakfast on Christmas morning? Schauger, you want to go first on that?
Oh, we have, I think somebody normally makes those like Schwartzies, like the potato egg thing or whatever. I can't eat it because I can't have the eggs, but that, and I think cinnamon buns are usually a Christmas morning thing. It's kind of like when the family gets together, it's almost like what do they call those? Like a continental, like some fruit, muffins, and then a couple of those things. So yeah, pretty informal, I would say. Struds?
Yeah, it sounds a lot like ours because we have our big Christmas dinner that day. So we don't load up a ton on food. Kind of a brunch and then kind of nothing till about 4 or 5 when we have our big dinner.
I got to come up with something, start a new tradition. So if people on the stream have any good ideas, hit me with that. I'm interested in coming up with something new, but we used growing up.
Well, you had leftover pasta for breakfast this morning, so maybe you just want Christmas. Struds, he gets up this morning, 9:30. Zuby had a sleepover at the Shoggies. Straight to a full plate of pasta left over for breakfast.
Wow.
It wasn't that full. It was
That
just enough to get me to the airport. But growing up, my mom used to always go before Tim Hortons closed at whatever time on Christmas Eve. My mom would go and get a dozen donuts, mixed variety, so that we'd eat throughout the day on so that was just kind of it was a fun tradition. Here's a good point on the Brownie Point situation, Shogger. I think you might want to use this. JNL says, if you're equal partners, surely your Brownie Point account is shared as well. When you're married, what's my brownie points are your brownie points. There are brownie points.
Well, I don't disagree. The problem is, in order for something like that to take hold, we would need the votes on the pod, and Struds ain't giving me the votes for that. There's no chance. Brownie is.
No.
So I don't disagree. I think the whole system it's rigged and it's ridiculous. I don't know why I care so much about it. I got to just let it go, but it's just tough, man. He just, with that, I'm sure it's a, eating grin on his face when he just hands the points to my wife.
Yeah.
Like it's getting to be a little much.
You need to go, or people listening in podcast form, or even for yourself, Shogger, you need to go back to see your reaction to it when he gave the 1,000 to Randy.
I thought I had some coming.
I
thought I had some coming tonight. We did a nice party, fun. Like I thought for sure today would be the day. Anyway.
Okay, last one. We kind of covered this a little bit, but Ro Nelson said, what karaoke songs did Ryan, Brownie, Struddy sing? My guess, these are good guesses. My guess is Kokomo or Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald did come up, but it was never actually sang. What else did you guys sing?
Shona and I did a shallow duet that I thought was quite stirring. Felt
really nice.
A lot of connection with her there, Struds. It was really good.
Yeah, she even called you by the right name. So, I mean, it was really positive going up there. I sang How Will I Know by Whitney Houston. I was happy.
You did, yeah.
I love that song. I love
pretty
that
good.
song. What a banger.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
There was so everybody leaves, Zuby's staying over. 1 a.m, kids sleeping upstairs, another one downstairs, and Zuby's like, I got another one in me. What was it? Run DMC?
No, it was Mama Said Knock You Out by LL Cool J.
1 a.m, Mama Said Knock You Out by Zuby, while Randine and I are cleaning the kitchen, and Zuby is standing in the living room doing Mama Said Knock You Out by himself on karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's just say that my lips were not up to speed of the lyrics by that time. So
a little slurry.
Anyway,
slurry.
It was a good time. Thanks again. Appreciate it. And thanks
you
to your wife. Thanks for hosting. It was awesome.
Time for our play of the day, brought to you by Modern Measure. Holiday shopping doesn't have to be hard. Give the gift of looking sharp with Modern Measure's gift card. In Edmonton's Ice District, they're the leaders in made-to-measure style, from tuxedos to custom denim. Buy a gift card now and get bonus 10% extra. Committed to providing you with a 5-star experience with a personal touch and attention to detail that will exceed your expectations. Visit mdrnmeasure.com. What do we got for play of the day today, Struddy?
I'm going to go back to the party last night. A certain Ryan Rishaug pulled his guitar out and played I Am the Song. And I'd never heard this song before. It was unbelievable. I thought it was an original, but it was so well done, Shogger. I give you a lot of crap on this pod, and really we all do, but that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So well done. That was more than deserving for the play of the day.
Okay, I'll take that. I'm a Song, Steven Wilson Jr. If you haven't checked him out, just recently discovered him, Struds. Like, he has so many amazing songs. He lost his dad about 7 years ago, wrote an entire album called Son of Dad about his dad. That's from that. Just some unreal tunes on there. So if you want something mellow, Steven Wilson Jr.'s got some good stuff. Thanks for that, pal.
Okay.
Zuby, we didn't get to our threshold, did we?
It was 17 or 17 away.
We're 17 away. I mean, what do we give this? 20 seconds? We give this 20. Can we get 17 likes in 20 seconds? I mean, we can't stay here forever. We got to go. Are we just shutting it down, Struds? You don't care?
But we could, if you don't meet your total, we don't do it. Like, that's the way it works, right? That's life.
15.
What are you going to reward average or poor results? We can try again tomorrow night. Let's try again tomorrow night,
I mean, it was pretty classic. That Schooner's World theme is, I mean, that's a real treat. I think people need to step up for that next time.
We're 13.
Yeah, we're not getting there. All right, people.
Oh,
now
we're 1 away. There was just a flood.
What?
We're 1 away now.
Are we doing it?
Let's do it. But I'm not. Oh, there we got it.
We're doing it. All right, folks. We're gonna wrap the show with the Schooner's World theme. Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful stream tonight. so much contribution, and 250 likes. I mean, we had to pull it out of you like pulling teeth, but it's okay. You always show up for us. You always come through. Live tomorrow at the Canadian Brew House in Lewis Estates. Come down, say hi to us. If you want to come watch the game, say hello, and we'll have a live podcast as well. See you, boys. Schooner's World.
Write a short theme song to a podcast segment called Schooner's World. It should be 30 seconds in length. The gist of the lyrics would be that she lives with a lovable uncat husband, a former NHL hockey player. Some references to include would be that he has previously accused her of not keeping enough mustard on hand in the house, throwing out his perfectly good underwear without replacing it, and replacing his favorite tackle seasoning with the bland homemade version.
What a banger.
Should have sung that last night.